Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Credit Card Madness 2026. Last time around, we set up our final four. That means at the end of this show, there will only be two remaining. One champion from cashback, one champion from travel, ready to square off in our final matchup to crown a winner for this year. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, really quick, we will recap it. So if you are new here, Credit Card Madness, as the name suggests, is the channel's annual credit card tournament where we take 16 of the world's best credit cards, set them up bracket style, cashback region, travel region, single elimination, until there's only one winner left, our champion of the year. And of course, the best part is the winners, the losers, they're all decided by you, the viewer at home. So if you want to get caught up, again, there's a full playlist on the home page, a full section for Credit Card Madness. You can go ahead and take a look at past seasons and how this tournament's progressing so far, because you were still just in time to help us crown a grand champion. So that being said, last time around, again, we set up the final four and you guys voted, so there's no reason to drag this out. Let's take a look at our bracket and see who's in and who's out. So as we saw, two matchups, Final Four cashback region. We have our defending champion, the custom cash, the 1 seed, going up against the 2 seed, Capital One Saver card. On the travel side, we had our upset, our underdog, coming through in the City Strata Premier, going against the number 2 seed, the Capital One Venture X. And here's how you voted. So on the cashback region, our cashback champion for 2026 is once again the City Custom Cash. You can see there it takes the crown, or retains its crown, I should say, 115 votes to 66 votes. So a very solid victory for our defending champion coming out of the cashback side. Now over to the travel region, who will take the crown? You would have thought Capital One. It's had the crown for quite some time, but not this time. Our underdog comes through, the number 4 City Strata Premier, walks away with it 118 to 63, making it the travel champion of this year, which means we are headed for an all-city final coming up very shortly. Now, really quick here, let's take a look at it just so we show the receipts. This is how you voted. Again, we use Google Forms. And Google Forms shows us a breakdown of it in pie charts. If I hover over it, that's where I get the number. But we had 181 responses this go around, and you can see the pie charts there just kind of show how lopsided both of these victories were for City. So overall, there you go. I think it was a pretty interesting Final Four, and I do like the setup that we have going into the finals. You know. Very interesting. So how did I vote? I did vote for the City Custom Cash. I have two of them, and last week we had the Q&A, the monthly Q&A video, and many of those questions were about custom caches. One guy wanted to have 4 or 5 custom caches. One guy said, if I had 5 custom caches, do I need anything else? So the custom cache definitely holds a special place in our hearts over here. I will get to some of its shortcomings in the commentary for next round, the final round. And on the travel side, I did also vote for the City Strata Premier. I'm a really big fan of the Strata Premier card. I think in the realm of $95 cards, it's between the Strata Premier and the Autograph Journey. I went Autograph Journey myself. I'll get a Premier at some point. I don't think I'd keep it, but for a lot of people, it's a lot of coverage, you know, for not that much money. $95, relatively speaking, given the hotel credit, is somewhat annoying, but still easy enough to use. The Venture X, I think folks may have just gotten tired of it. There's been a lot of folks who are trying to move away from the Venture X now that Built Palladium's out. Don't quite agree with that, but you know, it's fine. And there's also folks who have never been able to get a Venture X, or never probably will, like myself. Not that I want one aside from the intro offer, but because of the way Capital One is, so you have an all-city final. So just for consistency's sake, let's take a look at our final matchup. We'll talk about some quick commentaries and quick thoughts, and of course how you vote as well. So when we take a look at it, the championship is set. Number 1 City Custom Cash, defending champion, going against its technically big brother card, the number 4 City Strata Premier, coming out of the travel region. And for one more time, the bracket now is set for that final matchup. There you have it. So Again, looks good to me. I like this final matchup. It's really interesting, especially coming out of this past Sunday's show on the main channel, where we have the City Strata Premier sending out a survey that could potentially hike the fee to $200 and add a bunch of credits and stuff. Now again, it's a survey, but we overreact to surveys because it's fun. So does that weigh down Strata going into the final? So a little bit of controversy, you could say. Now, I do read and interact with folks in the comments, and there's more than one person who would definitely say the City Custom Cash is a one-trick card. And that is true, but the Custom Cash does that one trick very, very well, and it's a weird thing because I couldn't recommend a Custom Cash for someone as like one of their first 2 or 3 cards probably. It's just not enough coverage. But for the people who are going to vote in a tournament, the Custom Cash is the perfect card, and we want more of them because we're usually trying to cover off very unique, they're not unique categories, or they're very specific categories, right? And so for the people who are voting, the Custom Cash, pretty good. But, the Premier, on the other hand, gives you quite a bit of coverage for $95. A lot of 3X categories on main categories that folks use: gas, grocery, dining, that whole thing. Travel insurances now. So it is a really tough matchup overall. You can only pick one. We probably know where I'm leaning simply because this is a cashback show. But, of course, this is why they play the game, to see who wins. So, voting. Again, if you're new here, down below you will have one link. It is a link to a Google form. It's free. You do have to log into your Google account to vote. I don't get your information. It's just it helps from people just pounding the ballot box over and over and over again. There will only be one matchup, our final matchup, and you just vote for whichever one you want. Which card you like the best? Are you team cashback? Are you team travel? You decide. You'll get the crown the winner, and then next week we will come together for our final show of the season, I should say. We're going to do plenty more shows this year, and hopefully beyond, unless we get canceled. But final show of the season to crown our champion. We'll do some color commentary on it, that whole thing. So generally I am interested because I don't know who's going to win. Both cards have a strong argument, as we just did in the commentary section, so I wouldn't be surprised either way. I'm going to guess, if I had to pick, because this is a cashback show, maybe the audience leans more with me. But again, Strata Premier, very tough card, underdog, all-city matchup. I do think this speaks to City being one of the best issuers nowadays. My point is, I've always said City and Wells Fargo are up there. Chase and American Express definitely falling off. Chase for sure. American Express you can make the case for if you're into that sort of thing. But hey, there you go. Now, with that aside, I will turn it over to you guys to go vote. So, of course, if you would like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Of course, we're posting content just like this every single week in the month of March, focused on crowning a champion. But we're also here on Sundays doing all the news you can use in the week that was, and credit and finance as well. And if you just can't wait, we also have the blog, profitabilitycontent.com, which is always linked down below for you, as well as on the channel homepage. We post news stories, we post plenty of bank promotions and credit card offers. So if you want to take some money for supporting your favorite credit card through the tournament, that would be the place to do it. Again, always linked down below for it's the least they could do. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you right back here next week to crown our champion.